Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a little bit of a tune in and check to see what energy is going on for now. Yeah? So, first up, my Serpent Fire cards. What else did you call them? She-Wolf, yeah, by Serpent Fire. They're beautiful. I'm going to shuffle these, and I just did my first personal reading, so if you're interested, that's going to be $22, and it comes with your own video recording. Yeah, and I also do chakra healing, distance or in person. Just depends. Probably distance, most likely, unless you're someone that I've been in touch with before and we're in the same region. It works the same, distance to not. I just find that it's easier to work distance because you can be where you need to be and I can just do my thing. Yeah. It clears chakras, it clears aura energy, cleans the healing energy bodies, it opens up the aura and lets the chakras breathe, and I can also understand if you do a combo of a reading and chakra, we can understand what specifically might need to get worked on. Yeah. And if you're not into that, then you're not into it. It's okay. If you're curious, you're curious, and you can reach out to me. I have my email on the bottom of this info. And yeah, if not, I'll work with you, and that'd be great. And we can see where your healing needs to go and what you're looking for, and it'll be fun. At least fun for me. I don't know. I love this stuff. So. And healing is great. We can all use infinite amounts of healing, right? Ooh! That's why I did a little shimmy. Queen of Cups. We are in our emotions. We are ruler of our feelings, yeah? Two of Cups. Abundance, connection. Ooh la la. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And 10 of Wands. Let's see what that's about. One more card. One more card. 8 of Pentacles. Look at that fire. We are on it today. Okay. I'll lay down the law of these cards. I had my booklet somewhere. It's probably right in front of me, but I can't see it. It's behind me. It happens. I get excited by all these cards and I spray them all out. And then it's like, okay, where did everything go? Queen of Cups. I'm going to start with that one because she is boss. Ooh, man, I just feel like tingly looking at her, thinking about her. It's like, she's making me sweat. Mom, let's sweat. Baby. Rhythm move you. I don't remember those lyrics. Okay. Bridge, ethereal, emotional, heart on sleeve, loving, depth, and imagination. Power. When we don't judge or police our emotions, beautiful things transpire. It is only when we censor ourselves and place labels on positive or negative, or shameful on the things we feel and express, that we run into stagnation and may eventually lead to regression. If it remains long enough, it can become stored tension, chronic pain, and even disease. The Queen of Cups comes to us when we need her soft, gentle touch. When it is time to let emotions have their space, without criticism, without editing. This is where true healing happens. Feel, babies. Feel, feel, feel. Feelings are our superpowers. Doesn't mean we have to go run off on them and believe all of them. Allowing them space to come up is super important, because if you feel, sad, but you're chasing away the sadness by ignoring it and not allowing that sadness to come up because it's sad, you don't want to bring sadness around. Sadness is really important. It lets you know that you cared about something, or that you still care about something, and that you're still processing what isn't anymore, or what happened, or what didn't happen that you wish did. And those are powerful resources, because then you know what you truly want and need, and then you can go about giving that to yourself in your future. But if you run around stopping the sadness from voicing itself, then you're like, oh, and then you cave, and then it all collapses, and then you're exhausted, and then you're fatigued and can't think and confused. All the while, it's just this sadness. It's like, hey, that really mattered to me. I'm really sad that didn't work out, and I really wanted that. And maybe I need some time to be okay with not having it, There is a risk, however, of becoming overindulgent in the wells of our emotion. Yeah? Once you start allowing that sadness to come up, staying there forever also isn't healthy for you, right? So it's finding containers that we can go into sadness. Like I will set a 2 to 3 hour window, which I know sounds like a lot, but you're worth it. And sometimes those emotions need all that time. Sometimes it's like 45 minutes, even 20. Sometimes it's just a song that I put on and I cry and I'm like, man, that was from 9th grade when this thing happened, and I thought that I was, awkward and no one was going to like me and I wasn't going to have any friends. Or, man, that guy in high school that I really wanted to date, but it was really toxic and it never worked out. He liked this song, and so I've avoided this artist for my whole life up until now. Now it's coming on and it brings all those emotions up, right? It's real. It's very real. And when you go into that purposefully, you have the power and control and ability to feel and use it to your advantage, right? Like, man, that really meant a lot. And maybe I need to be more mindful of those toxic behaviors. Or maybe that person really meant something to me and I wasn't really willing to admit it. And I need to be more honest in my relationships coming up. Yeah. With the air and water elements, there is a lack of groundedness, which may allow for tempestuous and nightmarish levels of self-expression. Yeah? Projecting all of your emotions onto someone also is not the same thing as just being the queen of them and letting them be felt. Yeah? There is balance in all things, which is important to remember even when we proudly wear our hearts on our sleeves. Remember to always channel emotions in ways that do not hurt others. Yeah, the other shadow aspect of this card is stored tension. If we chronically do not express ourselves, emotions will inevitably store themselves in our tissues. Additional healing may be necessary. Cough, cough, chakra healing. Hypnosis, acupuncture, osteopathy, I'm not sure what that is. Massage, Reiki, therapy, bunch of different things. Mantra for your Queen of Cups. My emotions are my gift, provided I express them with grace. Yeah. There was one time, actually multiple times, this was a relationship that kind of like had a lot of carnations. And I never was able to express my emotions in the younger stages. It took years of getting there, and there was one time where I wrote out all the things that I felt, and bless his heart, man, he was willing to like listen and be a wall to that. Later, we're still really good friends, and I really value that friendship, and I have told him like, man, I'm really sorry about that. That was really blown out of proportion. But I had 5 years of emotions and heartache that I hadn't expressed, and so I just wrote it all out and then read it to him, and it was like, okay, great on me learning how that you felt and expressing it, but maybe could have channeled that in a different way so that instead of just pushing all of that onto him, it could have been more of a fluid, grounded place of like, hey man, these are the things that I realized I felt and I would like to share with you if you're open to hearing. Not like, all of my emotions all at once, listen to me now. Yeah, because that's a lot. If it took years for us to figure that out, be mindful of the person that might have to receive that, and vice versa, Someone may be holding their emotions really tight, and it's hard. We were never taught emotional intelligence, so we're having to learn this through bumping in the night. Not all of us, but some of us. So be mindful of that. All right, 8 of Pentacles is just staring at me. It wants to be heard. What is going on there? Okay. We are careful, methodical, imbalanced, and evenly applied energy, right? So this is when the Queen of Cups can manage her emotions smoothly, methodically, right? Carving out that time to be like, you know what, I'm going to go into this sadness and I'm going to listen to this music and I'm going to cry for 30 minutes. I'm going to turn off my phone and then I'm going to come out of that and then I'm going to be integrated and strong and feel good, right? Or at least feel better, hopefully. Let's see. If we've learned the art of patience, then we will better understand the beauty of pacing ourselves. Whether or not our precious energy is effective has to do with the pace we're choosing, right? We cannot do all of this at once. Run too quickly, we tire out. Move too slowly, we become apathetic. If we're hasty, we make decisions that won't serve us in the long run. If we're entirely indecisive, nothing will happen. The sun has an extraordinarily epic lifespan, one we humans cannot truly fathom. It is an ideal metaphor for this card, as when we receive it, we are being asked to have foresight and learn how to juggle several things on a large scale. How will our energies be best used in 6 months? Do we need to focus on being healthier? How can we best plan our strategies? It may be prudent to make some lists and organize responsibilities. My stamina is entirely dependent upon my pace, so I choose one that is in harmony with my spirit. So as we work with our emotions and learn what is going on within us, right? One, that takes time. And also we have this outside world, right, that demands our attention. And we've got bills and things like that that are of this world. So how can you tune into yourself and think, okay, well, in 6 months, I want to feel good. What do I need to start doing now in order to help myself out 6 months from now? Yeah. For example, I took on a second job and didn't take any time away from my other job. So now I've layered 2 jobs on top of one another with no days off. And I looked at my schedule and I even got double scheduled for 2 days and I was like, what? And I had to be the queen of my emotions because it's no one else's responsibility but mine to organize my life, right? And I didn't really take into account what I would feel like when I didn't have days off. And I went 13 days on my feet serving people, which I love to do. If I don't have any time to myself, then I could get a little crazy, right? So I had a process, right? I had to vent and write out like, man, this is way more than I thought it was going to be. And then I had to think about, okay, what am I going to do? Because I can't just give up all these jobs. And now I'm committed to these things. How can I work with these commitments? What do I need to do? Well, I need to at least take 3 to 4 yoga classes a week. 3, probably reasonable. 4 is like superstar, right? I need to be very engaged with that. I need to make sure that I sleep. I need to have at least 2 to 3 connections with friends because otherwise I'm going to get too far in my head and then I'm going to feel like depressed and isolated that I'm just working the whole time. I need to make sure that I have groceries because if I eat out while I'm working and I eat things that I don't really want to be eating, then at the end of those 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line, I'm going to be in worse shape than when I entered, right? And then I even communicated to give up 1 or 2 of those shifts to see if somebody else wanted them so that I had space. Even though it's maybe not a lot of space, I'm like, okay, this is my day off. I'm not going to do anything but rest and really concentrate on being energized and be disciplined about the way that I think. Because if I'm not disciplined about that, then, on day 8 of no days off, I'm going to be like, right? And no one likes that. Even me. in myself, that doesn't feel good. So managing, okay, I'm going to feel overworked and exhausted at the end of this if I only look at what I'm working. So what are things that I can do in my control? I can, see if I can maybe let go of one or two of these days. Yeah, shift some things around. Actively schedule in physical activity that's going to make me feel good and stretch out my body. Reach out to 2 or 3 people that are super important to me, that make me feel good and bring light to my life so that I'm not just floating around in this rainstorm by myself. And eat well and plan ahead so that I'm not just taking the fastest way out and then feeling less good about myself in the process. Yeah? So my mom, when I told her about all this, she was like, well, you need to start thinking about your future. And I was like, this moment is not that time. My future is, it's going to come for sure. But I need to make sure that I'm not thinking of my future from a place of stress and anxiety, right? So I need to focus on these next few weeks and stabilizing so that this doesn't happen again because this overstepped a limit. And then when I come out of that, how do I want to feel at the end of this huge range of no days off? I want to feel good. So, okay, I've got a marker, and then I'm going to get through this. And I've got some inklings of, okay, if this is what happened and I'm not a fan of this, what do I need to do and change so that the future feels a lot more free? Yeah. And then you're the queen of your emotions because I didn't freak out and go, ah. I mean, I did a little bit, but it was managed. Yeah. The 2 of Cups is at the other side of this managing and reigning over our emotions. Yeah. It is abundance, beginnings, openness, excitement, and love. Yeah. I welcome the new into my heart. Cups are associated with water and with our emotions. Here we are feeling a wonderful new chapter begin in our hearts. It could mean new love, new friendship, new depths of self-love. Yeah. Whatever the nascent jewel that is forming will be, we can be excited and hopeful. This excitement we feel motivates us to be productive, creative, and spread our energy around. This is a wonderful time to begin new projects, clean out closets, or truly whatever brings us joy at this time. Yeah, so our beginnings come in mastering ourselves. Yeah. When we master ourselves with this efficiency and stability and going at our own pace, then so much opens up for us. Yeah, so much excitement and joy and life because we're not just sitting here like freaking out over what we are doing in our lives. We're actively playing a role in creating what we want and what we need through the sensory of our emotions. Yeah, and that is a beautiful feeling. Yeah. So the last card for here is 10 of Wands. I feel like duality is coming up for me here. Got repression, suppression, unnatural path, and caged. Uh-oh, what just happened? So this is what we're going to have to triumph. At the moment, we may be feeling uncomfortable in our own skins. The reason for this may be because we're doing things that are not aligned in our truth. Yeah, we got to really be honest with ourselves here. Behaving in ways that we know are not good for us, being consciously or unconsciously destructive, passive, or apprehensive. Perhaps we are not saying no when we need to. Perhaps we're allowing others to use us. Perhaps we had an opportunity to leave a cage we were in, but we were too afraid of freedom. In any case, when we receive this card, we are being asked to reconfigure our relationship with ourselves. Sometimes we are conditioned by peers or family to behave in certain ways that don't feel good for our souls. But we witnessed and thus adapted their methods. Those methods are not ours. Sometimes we are manipulated into behaving certain ways by people who claim to love us. This isn't ours either. Learn to discern. This is an opportunity to shed that uncomfortable skin and find a softer, more harmonious center. Sometimes the behaviors and perspectives I've learned aren't mine, and I shed them to live my truth. Yeah. We've got to shed those layers, and those layers we find through our emotions. Yeah, what feels good, what feels anxious, What are those things that we've stuck underneath ourselves that maybe didn't have room to be out into the world until now? Yeah, and through that methodical pace that's ours, that we have designed for ourselves, yeah, we can come into love and abundance and joy and play. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I usually do more decks, but I feel like that message was pretty clear. Yeah, so whatever is coming up or what you're avoiding, listen to it. Create a container in order to go and dive deep so that you can understand what's turning up inside and asking to be heard. Yeah, because the way that you've been in your emotions and in your life isn't necessarily helpful for you. And in order to feel that fire of the sun, yeah, you're going to need to come in to truth. Yeah, because the queen is the only one that can reign herself. And you must master that. Yeah. So if you want a personal reading on maybe what might be underneath there that you haven't recognized, give me a little email. If you want some chakra work or some distance pranic healing, also I can combine that or just do it on its own. Yeah, if you already know what you want to work on, great. Let's do it. So many, many blessings and love. Namaste.